And welcome back to Who Would Win. Today's Who Would Win comes to us from Roy, the viewer, who asked the question, who would win a fight, Inuyasha versus Kisame? It's an interesting conversation, because right out the gate, we need to address, with these two characters, chakra versus demon energy, spiritual energy. It's particularly how it's kind of portrayed in Inuyasha. It's kind of portrayed in a similar vein as it is in, like, say, Bleach, but it's not the same thing, because it just isn't quite the same makeup. First and foremost, we know who these characters are. One is the lead of his own series within Inuyasha. Kisame was a member of the Akatsuki, one of the strongest members, too. Former member of the Seven Swordsmen, wields the sentient blade Samahata, which literally consumes chakra. He was a master of water release, had enough chakra to compete with Tail Beast, and could even merge with his sword to become this shark-human hybrid that could breathe in the water and just absorb chakra. He was extremely powerful. Inuyasha wields the Tessaiga. Hold on. Is it Tessaiga or I actually might be mispronouncing that name, because I know there's the Tensenga. Oh, God. Inuyasha. Hold on. Yasha. Okay. Character. What is the name of his sword again? Real quick. I hate the fact that I have to I forget, because I think it's Tetsaiga. My friend were here. She'd know. She knows. She's a huge Inuyasha fan, so she would know in a heartbeat. There we go. Inuyasha himself. There we go. Okay, so the name of his sword is the. One second. There is the Tetsega. Jeez, I hate ads. I really hate them. They are so annoying. Tetsaiga. There's it. He had Tetsaiga. That was, which is made from the fang of his father. It's a katana and steel form and a giant blade in this other form. He has its true form has this giant F-off blade with this a little bit of a fur tassel on it. It has the Kaze no Kizu, or Wind Scar, which is a signature attack, and think of it basically like a Wind Getsuka Tensho. It fires a wave of yokai capable of wiping out 100 yokai with one strike. It's basically a Wind Getsuka Tensho with demon energy. And then the Bakurai, or Bakuryua, his ultimate technique, or I believe it's known as the Backlash Wave, fires basically a Wind Scar yokai-based attack. He can reflect it back at the opponent, combine it with its energy. And basically, why it's called the Backlash Wave is once it hits, it's like it throws the attack back at the opponent. There's also a red Tetsaiga, a form gain when he shattered Shino's orb, gives the Tetsaiga and Backlash Wave the power to slice through most kinds of barriers. Wouldn't matter here. Diamond Tetsaiga, form gain when he broke Hoseki's diamond-encased skull, an attack that fires a barrage of diamond shrapnel. Okay. Dragon Scale Tetsaiga, form gained when breaking the sword Daiki. It can absorb enemy yokai, or enemy demon energy, and to increase its power. It can also use the source of enemies' yokai to cut and weaken them. Black Tetsaiga, there we go, Tetsaiga, God. I'm going to be doing that all day. A form gain when he broke his sword, Tensaiga and Tetsaiga. And one of Inuyasha's strongest techniques, which basically opens a portal directly behind the opponent and sends them to hell. It can also fire a barrage of crescent-shaped blades that cut through the opponent and suck their remains into another world. It can also be used to let Inuyasha travel to another world and back. Which is a very powerful technique. On his own, too, he has enhanced physical abilities faster than any normal human. A healing factor, can heal for being stabbed through the chest and having holes punched through his gut. Enhanced senses, being a half-dog demon. Yokai is obviously his demon energy. Sakon Tetsu, which by channeling it through his claws, he basically turns them into actual claws. He can literally slash individuals. And then Hinjin Keso. By drenching his claws in his blood, he can manipulate the blood with yokai and fire it as a barrage of crescent-shaped blades. My guess is he could probably also just have enhanced blood claws if he wanted to, which would probably be a really cool technique. He's older than Kisame by a lot. He actually has technically more experience at this, but he's also had the mentality of a young man. So Kisame definitely would be someone who could probably get under his skin. reading these, you would, like, if you're a fan of either, this would actually probably be a very interesting fight. As I said before, though, we have to basically break down yokai. Yokai is demon energy. So the question are any of Inuyasha's attacks or his energy capable of being absorbed by Samahata? That is the question at hand here. So we know that chakra is made up of physical and spiritual energy, which means that if you put Kisame up against a Bleach character, because it's still spiritual energy and it's makeup of chakra, he'd still in theory be able to absorb that energy. Maybe not as effectively, but still absorb it with Samahata. The same would be said true for Yu Hakusho characters. We know they use the term spiritual energy. But they also have demon energy as well. And that is that they actually make a distinction, at least in Yu Hakusho, that there's a difference between spirit energy and demonic energy. Now, this might just simply be the fact that demon energy is spirit energy produced by demons, versus just calling it spirit energy in general. It has a different tone and flavor to it, if you will. Or it is of a different nature than normal spiritual energy. And again, I know we're talking about Yu Hakusho at the moment, and we talked about Bleach, but it lends to the discussion of demon energy in Inuyasha. And I'm actually going to say no, they're not the same thing. Because distinctions are often drawn between the two, they aren't the same thing. They may be related, but they aren't the same thing. So if Samahata is capable of absorbing demonic energy, demonic energy is probably among the three: spirit, chakra, spirit, physical energy, if that were to have an aura, and demon energy. Among the four, demon energy is probably the hardest for Samahata to effectively absorb. So while it might still be able to, it's not going to be able to do it anywhere near as effectively or quickly as you see like in Naruto, where it just sucks up chakra instantly. So with that distinction now, who wins in a fight here? Let's to set up the fight. Inuyasha, who would be the aggressor? That's also a good question. Inuyasha can be a little hot-headed. I didn't watch a lot of Inuyasha, but he can be a little hot-headed, definitely. From what I did see. Not saying he's an idiot or even a Naruto type of character, but he can be a little hot-headed. Kisame definitely is perfectly okay with being an aggressor, but he's also capable of letting the opponent come to him. I think it'd be one of those things where Kisame maybe gets lost in Inuyasha's world and is maybe just trying to make a living, slaughtering demons or whatever, maybe slaughtering people, and he comes to blows in Inuyasha. And Kisame definitely would probably be able to raise Inuyasha's ire quite a bit. He'd probably be able to anger him without too much difficulty. And so Inuyasha just brings out Saiga, wind scar, and then Kisame brings out Samahata, and Samahata blocks it perfectly fine. Blocks it perfectly fine. But at the same time, he still takes a little bit of damage, but we also know he can recover using Samahata. So a little bit of damage he takes, he's able to recover. He comments that, ever since came to this world, I gotta admit, the chakra around here does not feel the same, man. Samahata can't absorb it as fast. Oh, well, and then they clash, and now they're going into just like straight hand-to-hand swordplay for a while. And, one of the things I think Kisame has over Inuyasha is that despite the fact that Inuyasha is stronger than the average person, so are a lot of ninjas. Kisame being one. Kisame's kind of a brick shithouse, really. He effortlessly wields that thing, which is, I think, that's actually a good question. Size-wise, is the Tsuchiga, when it's fully released, bigger than Samahata? Because Samahata is depicted as being pretty big, especially when it's like fully unraveled. And it's sentient, so it might even try to attack Inuyasha while they're like in a sword lock. I think they're roughly equal. Samahata because it also when you get near the tip, it actually is bigger with the mouth. It might be a little bigger, but not by much. I think Kisame is at least equal to Inuyasha in strength, or at least on par, minimum. He might even supersede him a little, especially if he goes into the shark form, he might supersede him, but it wouldn't be by a lot. So they're clashing for a little bit. All of a sudden, Sama tries to go and bite at Inuyasha, which allows Kisame to just grab him by the leg and just boom, like just hit him straight on. Sama is able to grab Inuyasha and absorb a little bit of his energy, but again, because demon energy, from my perspective, isn't going to be that effective. It's the least effective of the energies theoretically that could be absorbed. Sama only gets a little bit, and Kisame is able to recover what he can and store what he can too. It's like, and even admits, you're a pretty tough kid. I'll give you that, but not tough enough. Water shark bullet, or whatever. Basically, water shockwave basically creates that giant thing of water. Now, Inuyasha, as far as I know, cannot stand on. Can Inuyasha stand on water, or walk on water? Hold on. I'm going to find that out right now. Because if Inuyasha can't walk on water, that poses a big problem for him. Because Kisame not only it can walk on water, that is his jam. Can Inuyasha walk on water? Hold on. In Inuyasha, surprisingly, that one doesn't come up a lot. Like I saw Can Inuyasha fly? Let's see now. Walk. Walk on water. Here we go. Can he walk on water? That's a song. This part of him when he falls into the water with Kagome, looking for him. As far as I can tell, nothing here says he can walk on water. I've got a lot of YouTube videos called "Walk on Water," but that's a song. So, if Inuyasha could walk on water. But, it doesn't sound like he can walk on water. See, that part I actually didn't even put into the equation because I didn't even think about it until just that moment. I'm like, yeah, that's a problem for Inuyasha. If he can't walk on water, that's a problem because then Kisame can just form the frenzy shark technique where he just summons the water sharks. He can do a summoning using 4 sharks. And Inuyasha's now going to be he's not swiping away, he's wind scarring, all that. Eventually, I think, he gets pissed off and just finally just does a super large wind scar to kind of burst himself out of the water. And then, Kisame's like, water shark bullet, the shark that would absorb chakra if, it attacks. Inuyasha uses backlash wave against him. They burst, the water bursts, and, there more water falls down. Eventually, Kisame does the water dome jutsu. He's like, yeah, no more playing around, kid, and goes into his merged form. And Inuyasha's like, I can't get out of here. He's trying to swim, but I can't get out. The dome is moving with me. It's like, you're mine, kid, mine. It's like, it's over. And then Inuyasha finally has to pull his ace in the hole, which is that Meadow, I can't remember, basically opening the portal of hell. It's like, what was that supposed to? All of a sudden, Kisame can feel, and the portals, basically the water's draining out into the portal to hell. It's like, what the? Inuyasha finally fires the blades at him of demon energy, which you can't immediately absorb because it's demon energy, and he actually gets sent to hell. And so Inuyasha, surprisingly, and when I first saw the suggestion, I'm like, I'm feeling pretty confident Kisame would win that, but against a Bleach character, that portal to hell thing wouldn't work because most Bleach characters have Shimpo and just beyond light speed reflexes and straight speed in general. So that wouldn't work just because they could easily get out of the way. Most Naruto characters don't have that level of speed. Minato, Naruto, Sasuke, because he can keep up with Naruto, Madara, those types of characters have that level of speed, but Kisame has never demonstrated that level of pure speed. Plus, you get the section of water sucking him into the vortex, and you get the attack that's forcing to cut him up and send him into the gates of hell as well. So I actually think Kisame would dominate a lot of the fight, but Inuyasha had the right technique at hand to put him down. So I think the fight would actually go to Inuyasha. But if for some reason Kisame were able to avoid the portal to hell, yeah, he would ultimately tear Inuyasha apart. But because he doesn't, I don't think, have the speed. Maybe in the water he might be able to have some level of reflexes to get out of that, but even that's debatable. Also, actually, I'm actually going to now look up that technique. Inuyasha Meadow, because I want to see how big the portal that gets opened is. If it's just a portal that's, say, human size, you could, at least in the water dome, make an argument that Kisame is fast enough to, let's see, Meadow, come on, where is it? Inuyasha. Yeah, Meadow, yeah, was it? Meadow Tsusaga, okay. You can make an argument that in the water, if it's only human size, he'd be able to avoid it. But if it's not, okay, I'm getting one picture here, but that doesn't actually tell me what how big the portal is. There's nothing for comparison in there. 1 second, I'm going to just I'm going to see if I can find a video. And the volume will be off. I'm doing this for my own, because I'm pretty much done with the video. I just want, for the percentage chances of any of you Kisame fans out there, I want to, okay, and then, okay, so let's see here. I'm watching it. We got him using the technique. Guy with the big black serpent dragons. It turns into the night sky. Actually pretty cool looking. Turns into like the night sky. Okay, yeah, okay. Now I'm actually seeing it. Now I'm seeing the actual size of the portal. That thing is huge. Okay, so there's no way if he uses that technique against Kisame's escaping that thing. Now, maybe it's one of those things too that could be adjusted to the size of the opponent. It could be one of those. Because I only see it the one time, but it was going up against a pretty big freaking opponent. So, yeah, Kisame's not avoiding that. Again, I was going to make the argument for anyone who actually has light speed-esque reflexes or straight speed, that they would probably be able to avoid it because they have the speed to do so. Kisame just doesn't have it, not in that area. And it's just going to suck pretty much the entire dome of water in two, along with him. So, ultimately, my money is on Inuyasha. But what do you think? Do you think I'm completely talking out my ass here? Or do you think I'm onto something? Let me know. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know we'll do a review of it at some point. Hit that bell if you want to be notified. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.